proceed freely and voluntarily. I then made a few calls until I got to Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe, who was prepared to assist with the pointing out.
Uma sengimbuzileke wavuma-ke ukuthi angakwenza-ke lokho ekhululekile engaphoqiweke ngase ngifona-ke noma ngenza-ke ama-calls ngaze ngafinyelela kuyena-ke uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe owasho-ke ukuthi-ke angalekelela kona lokho.
My Lord, Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe said he can assist the following day, which is the 5th of June 2020, and he requested that accused one should be detained at Alberton SAPS, where he will then make arrangements to book him out and carry on with the formal pointing out.
Abakusho-ke yena uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe ukuthi-ke angakwenza-ke lokho ngelanga elilandelayo-ke ngazo i-5 kuJune 2020 wase ecela-ke nokuthi-ke uma umsolwa angathathwa-ke asiwe-ke kuma-cell akhona-ke e-Alberton, yena-ke wayezofika-ke nje amkhiphe noma ambhuke out khona lapho abese yaqhubeka.
My Lord, Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe also was not privy to these investigations. He was never part of it before. And I've never worked with him.
Okunye futhi-ke uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe akukho awayekwazi-ke mayelana nalolu daba noma leli cala leli, akakaze abe yingxenye noma-ke ingxenye yethimba eliphenyayo kulona leli cala, angazi futhi-ke ngisebenze naye ngaphambilini.
Also made necessary arrangements for the photographer to be present on the day of the pointing out.
Engakwenza-ke ukuthi ngimnikeze njena-ke i-case number nokuthi ngenzeke ukuthi-ke lowo thwebula iy'thombe abe khona-ke ngelanga elilandelayo-ke uma eseyokwenza lowo msebenzi.
And furthermore, that Sergeant Mohane will be the one engaging him insofar as the movement of the accused to Alberton police station, and I communicated such to both of them, my lord.
Nokuthi-ke kwakuzoba uSergeant Mohane-ke owayezomphelezela-ke mayelana nokususa kwakhe-ke umsolwa khona-ke e-Alberton aye khona lapho-ke eForsters. Lokho-ke ngakusho noma-ke ngabatshela bobabili.
No. To move the accused, in other words, from Valeria SAPS to Alberton SAS, yes.
Umsolwa wokuqala eValeria police station amhambise amise e-Alberton police station. Lapho-ke e-Alberton kwakuzoba uyena-ke uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe oseyamthatha-ke umsolwa aqhubeke naye.
You say you communicated that those arrangements to both of them. Who are you referring to?
I'm referring to Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe and Sergeant Mohane, my lord.
Lokho-ke ngakhuluma kubona-ke bobabili ukuthi-ke uMohane yena wayezosusa umsolwa eValeria amse e-Alberton, bese Alberton yaqhubeka uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe. Ngatshela bona bobabili uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe kanye naye uSergeant Mohane.
Yes, you may proceed.
My lord, then on the 5th, I do know the 5th of June 2020 that such pointing out were done, concluded, and I was informed later by
pointing out noma-ke ukhomba lokho kwenzeka futhi-ke ngatshelwa-ke uyena-ke uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe-ke ukuthi wakwenza lokho baqeda ngalelo langa lelo.
I later also received the form, my lord, of the formal pointing out, and also at a later stage received the photo album of the said pointing out. In other words, in relation to the photos that were taken of the accused and the scenes that he pointed, my lord.
Ngathola-ke iform leyo-ke iform lena-ke eyayibhalwa uyena-ke uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe mayelana nalokho okwenzeka-ke ngalelo langa. Ngase ngithola futhi-ke ne-album yazo iy'thombe lezo-ke ezathwetshula ngalelo langa zakhe umsolwa kanye nala akhomba khona.
When did you receive the pro forma notes on pointings out and the photo album?
My lord, the photo album was at a match from the day of the pointing out.
Iy'thombe zona ngiyazi-ke ukuthi-ke kwathatha isikhathi noma kwaba isikhathi ukuze ngithole ngoba-ke zazingaqediwe-ke zingalungisiwe-ke ngaleso sikhathi leso, kodwa-ke yona-ke i-proforma-ke yona-ke noma-ke le form lena-ke yona-ke eyayigcwaliswa uyena uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe kungenzeka ukuthi ngayithola ngalelo langa noma ngelanga elilandelayo.
I just want to show you a document which has been handed up as Exhibit GG. Just identify the documents.
By Colonel Khatebe, Lieutenant Colonel Khatebe. Except this part, the statement of Colonel.
For me, kodwa yona ke yona iperforma kanye ke nama notes enziwa uyena ke uLieutenant Colonel Khatebe.
Just want to show you a photo album that has been handed up as Exhibit GG1. Can you just identify that for the court?
To be incomplete, my lord.
Yona ke lena photo album yakhe ke umsolo oqala mayelana ke ne pointing out noma ke uyokhomba kodwa buke ngathi ke ayiphelele.
Yes, photos of the pointings out are not yet before court.
Oh,
it's
okay, understood, my lord.
Yeah,
Yes, this is part
only
of
certain
the,
photos.
Indeed, my lord. It is then part of the album that I received.
Uyamtshela ke umshulezayo ke pointing out azikabi yona ke ingxenye noma ke azikabi phambi kwayo inkantolo yavuma.
Yes, then what happened further?
My lord, that was basically the circumstances surrounding the pointing out and confession. What I then did, I went to Valeria police station and I think also Albertine police station to obtain the copies of the OBs as part of the investigations and attach them on the docket, which such was disclosed to the defense.
Kwaba ilokho ke mayelana ke nayo ke the confession kanye ke nama pointing out engase ngikwenza ke umuva kwalokho ukuthi ke ngiyeke kwi police station yase Valeria kanye futhi ke nase Albertine ngiyothola ke ama copy ke ezincwadi lezi ezisetshenziswayo ezibizwa ngokuthi ke ama OB khona lapha yana ke e police station noma ema police station ngase ke nginamathela ke kulona ke idokodo nalokho futhi ukuthi lokho futhi noma lawo ma OB lawo ke anikezwa ke kubameli.
My lord, in those entries, it is clearly indicated that the accused in all material times was free of injuries, never complains of any assault, illness, or anything irregular during his booking in and booking out, as well as during the regular sales visit by the members that were on duty. But on top of it, my lord, there were also visits by officers who were on duty randomly. And even in those times, my lord, there was no complaint articulated on the OBs.
Lapha yana ke kulama copy alama OB noma le ncwadi ke ebhalwayo ke khona ema police station kuyacaca ke ukuthi ke akukho la khona ke ashoyo ke khona ke akhala khona ke ukuthi ke kukho wayengaphethekile kahle washaywa ke nokuthi futhi ke labo ababesebenza ke khona lapho babe abantu babemane beyovela ke alikho ke ihlandla la khona ke ashilo ke khona ukuthi ulimele ushayiwe akukho nje la kuvela khona namabhalo khona lokho.
Were the OB entries also obtained from Diepkloof police station?
There was one that was, yes, there was an entry obtained in relation to an entry that was made by Colonel Mboto, to say basically took the confession from accused number 1, but it was not a detention, it's just an entry that proves that he was there and he then took a confession from him.
Khona ke nase Diepkloof la khona ke uKenel Mboto abhala khona ke ukuthi nje yebo wayethatha ke istatement noma ke confession kuyena umsolo oqala yona ke yayingakhulumi ke ngokuthi ke wayegcinwe lapho ngokuthi nje kwakuchaza noma ke uqinisekisa ukuthi wayekhona lapho umsolo oqala nokuthi wathatha ke le confession kuyena.
But even on that OB, my lord, from Diepkloof, there was no entry indicating a complaint or something unusual, being assault or any form that would have occurred around this period of the taking of the confession by Colonel Mboto.
Kodwa ke nalapho ke kulokho ke akukho nje lapha lekhona ukuthi ngaleso sikhathi leso awayephambi koKenel Mboto umsolo woqala ukuthi khona awakusho awakhuluma ke Colonel Mboto ukuthi washaya.
I just want to show you exhibit NN, which are extracts of the OB entries that we've referred to from Diepkloof police station, which appears on page 1, and from Villera police station, which appears from page 2 onwards.
Yes, my lord. So the first exhibit relates indeed to the report or an entry that was made.
Ngazo date sorry. ngey'phethi zika-May 2020 isikhathi-ke 23:58.
And it mentions the name of the accused as well as the colonel that took the confession.
Ibhaliwe-ke igama lakhe umsolwa kanye futhi naye-ke uKenneth okuyena owathatha istatement kuyena.
Can you just place the whole contents on record? They are not yet on record.
All right, my lord. So date is Saturday 2020/05/30. That is the date, my lord. And then the entry, the serial number is 2400 and time is 23:58. The report reads as follows: Colonel Mboto at Dukloof, room 1 at CSC, and confirm statement obtained from Musika Kulelwa Sithemba Sibiya from 1818 Umuzi Squatter Camp in Tembisa. Time in from 21:45 until now.
Okay. Lana-ke imininingwane-ke yayo-ke le OB lena ukuthi kwangomgqibelo ngey'phethi zika-May 2020 isikhathi-ke u-23:58 ebusuku-ke umbiko-ke uKenneth Mboto eDeepkloof room 1 e-CSCS uyasho-ke ukuthi istatement esathola kuyena-ke umuzika ukhulelwa Sithemba Sibiya owaka-1818 Vusumuzi Squatter Camp ethembisa isikhathi-ke u-21:45 kuze kube manje.
Until now, will be the time of the entry. What is the time?
The time of the entry is 23:58, my lord.
Isikhathi-ke sibhaliwe lana-ke ukuthi yabhala nini-ke lokhu kwaku-23:58.
Yes.
And on page 2, you confirm that from page 2 up to about page 16, those are the entries from Vilera police station. They are already on record.
Yes, I do confirm, my lord.
Ukusuka ke-ke upage 2 kuyofika-ke upage 16 yilokhu-ke kumayelana-ke nama-entry nama okubhaliwe-ke kwase-Vilera police station.
I do confirm, my lord.
Yes. And from page 7 to 18, which also serves as exhibit KK before court, you confirm that those are entries from Alberton police station. It's 17 and 18.
17 and 18.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I do confirm, my lord.
Ngiyaqinisekisa-ke
I do confirm, my lord.
Yes, thereafter, what happened?
So, insofar as accused one, my lord's confession pending against him, insofar as the confessions that he made, my lord, I then followed further investigation to collaborate and see if one can collaborate the confessions that he made. So there were parallel investigation. Insofar as the confessions, it was to follow what was mentioned, to collaborate and obtain independent evidence, and then the matters that he was charged for were then proceeding in different courts, my lord.
Kwaba yilokho-ke kumayelana-ke nokugonyuluka kwakhe-ke umsolwa wokuqala amanye-ke amacala ayephathelene amanye amacala-ke ayephenywa ngakuyena-ke. Mina ngase ngiqhubeka-ke nophenyo-ke ukubheka-ke ukuthi manje khona okunye engakuthola yini okungahlangana noma okuhlanganisa-ke naloku ayesekukhulumile-ke lokhu akhulumile kuyena-ke uKenneth Mboto namanye-ke amacala la ayebhekene nawo-ke nawo aqhubeka ephenywa.
Yes.
My lord, insofar as this matter that is before court, he was formally charged in October, I think 26th of October 2020. That is where the charges formally were brought for the first time against him, insofar as this matter that is before court.
Mayelana-ke necala leli-ke eliphambi kwenkantolo-ke manje cabanga ukuthi-ke uma esechajwa noma-ke esevela-ke phambi kwenkantolo nge-26 ka-October 2020 esiyobingelela-ke imantshi manje eyibingelela lona icala leli eliphambi kwenkantolo njengamanje.
Yes,
and that arrest, my lord, took place after the matter was submitted to the DPP in the form of presentation after the collection of all evidence that was obtained, sent for the decision. A decision to indict the accused together with the other accused was issued. I then subsequently applied for the warrant of arrest J50s for the relevant accused, and such was then authorized and granted by the Boksburg Magistrate Court.
Lokho kwenzeka ke emuva kokuthi manje ke ufakazi sebuqoqiweke buhlanganisiwe bandawonye ke kwase kundluliselwa ke kwihhovisi labeshushisi ekubizwa ngokuthi ke iDPP ukuthi ke bathatheke isinqumo ke manje sokuthi bayashushisa noma cha. Emuva kwalokho ke la isinqumo esathathwa khona ke ngase ngenza ke isicelo ke sayo ke iwarrant of arrest ukuthi J50 lo esicelo leso ke eyisaba impumelelo ke enkantolo yase Boksburg. Base ke bayachajwa ke noma babingelela bayaboshwa ke kanye nabanye futhi abasolwa.
Yes. And do you still remember when they appeared in court?
I think it would have been, I'm not sure, my lord, either 26 or 27 of October,
Yes.
2020.
Ilanga noma idate ke anginayo isiqiniseko sayo kungabe bakunge 26 noma nge 27 zika October 2020.
Yes, we'll come back to this issue in due course. Before the accused appeared in court, we're talking about accused number 1 was a statement obtained from him, a warning statement.
Yes, it was obtained, the warning statement was obtained from him. It was taken by me, my lord, and he signed, my lord, the said warning statement.
Ngaphambilini kokuthi ayovela ke enkantolo ingaba ke istatement la exwayiswa khona ke noma ke lokho kubizwa ngokuthi ke i-warning statement sathathwa yini kuyena umsolo wokuqala? Yebo, sathathwa yimina ke futhi.
Okay, we'll come back to this aspect also in due course. Now, as far as accused number 2 is concerned, when did you first become aware of his arrest?
On the 16th of June 2020, my lord, and that is when I was informed by Sergeant Mukhane.
Ukwazi kwami ke ngokuboshwa kwakhe umsolo wesibili ke kona ke ngakwazi lokho nge-16 ka June 2020 ngikwaziswa uyena uSergeant Mukhane.
Yes, then what happened further?
My lord, I do know that I had a first interaction with accused number 2 on the 18th of June 2020 in Carltonville for the first time.
Engikwaziyo ke ukuthi ukuhlanganyela kwami ke noma ke ukuhlangana nami okokuqala ke kanye nomsolo wesibili ke kwakunge-18 ka June 2020 eCarltonville.
He was still in detention, my lord, and he was in a company of Sergeant Mukhane and the late Sergeant Mapena.
Wayese sesitoksini ke ngaleso sikhathi ke futhi ke ekanye naye uSergeant Mukhane no sengasekho noma owashona ke uSergeant Mapena.
My lord, I was introduced to him, whereby then I also introduced myself by showing him my appointment card, warn him according to his Section 35 Act 108 of 1996 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, my lord.
Ngethula kuyena nami ke ngazethula ke kuyena ngokuthi ngimtshengise ke ikhadi lami elikhombisayo ke ukuthi ke ngiyiphoyisa ngase futhi ngimeqwayiswa ke ngamalungelo akhe anawo ngokomthetho sisekelo u108-35 1996.
I felt
Yes, just before we get to that, what led to you going to Carltonville on the 18th of June 2020?
it was the fact that Sergeant to a certain alibi that he may have given them in relation to this matter, my lord.
Umshushu sifisa ukwazi ukuthi kwakungani ke ukuthi uye khona ke eCarltonville ngazo i20 zika June 2020 ukuthi ke uSergeant Mukhane wangitshela ke ukuthi babe lapho ke beyokwenza ke uphenyo nokuthi ke futhi ababekutshele uyena umsolo wesibili ukuthi ke kukhona ke awayebanikeze kona ke esho ukuthi yena ke waye khona lapho kuleyo ndawo leyo.
Yes, thank you. You may continue.
My lord, so after the warning that was given to him in terms of Section 35, I established as to what he wants to do. It was clear, my lord, that he is prepared to talk to me without an attorney, and he didn't choose the right to remain silent, my lord, and he did not elect to remain silent rather, my lord.
Emuva kokuthi ngiqwayisileke sinomchazeleke ngamalungelo akhe-ke anawo kwacaca-ke ukuthi-ke wayengayimiseleke ukuthi ngase ngimbuza-ke ukuthi uyimisele ukuthi yini-ke ayinqumayo noma isinqumo sathayo washo ukuthi wayengayimiseleke ukuthi angathula futhi wayengayimiseleke nokuthi futhi-ke angathi abe nommeli.
Yes.
And just for record purposes, Brigadier, can you just place on record the warning that you administered to him in terms of Section 35?
My lord, it was the right to remain silent, the first one.
Lokuqala, sorry, kwakuyilungelo lokuthi angathula angasho lutho.
Right not to give self-incriminating evidence.
Nokuthi-ke anganikezi ngobufakazi-ke obungathi-ke bumbandakanye noma busho ukuthi bayinengxenye.
A right to an attorney, and if you cannot afford one, to have a state a state provide one for him at the state's expense.
Nokuthi-ke unelungelo-ke lokuthi abe nommeli uma kuwukuthi-ke imali-ke ayikho yokuthi-ke akhokhele ummeli loyo-ke ukuthi-ke umbuso ungamaqokela-ke ummeli ubuso uyakhokha ukhokhela loyo mmeli.
And a right to challenge the legality of his detention, and if so, the interest of justice permits that he should be released from such detention, my lord.
Nelungelo futhi-ke lokuthi-ke alwisaneke noma-ke aphikisaneke nendlela-ke agcinwe esitokisini ngayo nokuthi uma kuwukuthi-ke ubulungiswa buvumela-ke uma kutholakala ukuthi-ke akavalelwe ngendlela efanelekile ukuthi unelungelo lokuthi-ke adedelwe.
Yes, my lord.
Iwona-ke lawo.
Yes, what happened after you explained his rights to him?
My lord, after I explained his rights, I do recall that I had already told him, my lord, as well, that he was a person of interest, or rather I was sitting with information that indicates that he was also involved in the killing of Senzo Meyiwa.
Kodwa-ke okunye ngifisa nje ukuthi ngikusho ukuthi ngase ngimtshelileke ukuthi noma-ke nginalo lwazi enginalo-ke noma le information enginayo-ke ukuthi-ke naye-ke uyambandakanyeka noma wayengxenye-ke ekubulaweni kwakhe uSenzo Meyiwa.
The response, my lord, was that he was at work specifically on the 26th of October 2014 when the said incident happened. He was able to give me that date out of his own, if I actually put it to him.
Ngaphambilini nje kokuthi-ke i-date le yange-26 October 2014 mina ngiyisho noma ngiyichaze kuyena-ke yaphuma kuyena-ke wathi yena-ke nge-26 October 2014 wayesemsebenzini.
Yes.
My lord, and the workplace he referred to was Sibanya Mine, which I found them not far from there, so I requested that we enter the premises and go to the HR department with him, my lord.
Futhi-ke indawo lena yomsebenzi ayekhuluma ngayo-ke noma ayisho kwakuyisibanye Mines eyangekudeke la esasikhona-ke ngase ngicela ukuthi asiye khona-ke siye-ke kwa-HR.
And the purpose, my lord, was to confirm this alibi he was giving us.
Injongo kwakuhamba-ke siyoqinisekisa lokhu awayesitshela kona-ke noma awayekusho kuthina-ke ukuthi wayelapho.
Upon making inquiries, my lord, it was found that he was not there, my lord. In fact, he left the work premises on the 25th after clocking on duty for only 2 hours.
Kodwa-ke uma sesilapho-ke kwatholakala-ke ukuthi cha kwakungasilona-ke iqiniso lelo ukuthi-ke ngazo i-26 zika-October 2014 wayengekho lapho emsebenzini. Esakuthola ukuthi-ke wahamba-ke ngazo i-25 zika-October 2014 emuva kokuthi-ke
in such a short notice given to us, my lord, in his present.
Futhi-ke okunye esingazange sikutholeke ukuthi kwakungani ukuthi-ke washesha-ke ukuthi ahambe noma-ke isikhathi nje esincane lokho sikutshelwa-ke ekhona ukuthi abakaze babengasazi-ke isizathu ukuthi-ke asheshe ahambe.
I further learned, my lord, that he only returned to work I think around the 2nd or the 3rd of November 2020. So he was absent all the way until November, my lord. Sorry, not 2020, 2014.
So the 2nd or the 3rd.
2nd or the 3rd of November 2014.
Okunye futhi-ke engathola noma esakuthola-ke ukuthi-ke nanjengoba wayehambile-ke ngazo i-25 October 2014 wahamba-ke waze wayobuya mhlampe ngazo i-2 noma i-3 zika-November 2014.
As a court, please, my lord, as we indicated earlier on, may this evidence be provisionally allowed. subject to either Mr. Mulder being recalled or an admission be made in this regard
Yeah.
regarding the clocking records and the leave arrangement for accused number 2.
Yes, Mr.
Yes. You may proceed.
No objection,
I have no objection, thank you.
No objection for provisional allowance.
No objection.
Okay, Mr. Mulder.
Yes. Hendrik Mulder.
Yes. My Lord, indeed, Mr. Mulder with his findings.
empeleni ke uMr Mulder lo ephule owathi ke ngazo i22 kuJuni ke wase enikeza ke ngaso ke istatement esifungelo noma lokho kuthiwa ke iaffidavit.
Wanted to say something. Oh yes, my Lord. What also became clear when we were making inquiries is that in that facility, my Lord, they have what they call a clocking system. So, for example, if you are not at work, but you are still within the premises of the mine, you'll have to clock in various gates, which detect your movement, even when you go to the canteen, in other words, to have food. So when you are not inside the premises, because apparently the worker stays in those premises, they are able to detect that there was no clock in any of the entrances until the first clock, beyond a reasonable doubt that the last time he was there was the 25th of October 2014, when he left after 2 hours reporting on duty and returning for the first time in either of the 2 days of November 2014, my Lord.
Okunye futhi ke esakuthola ke ukuthi ke khona lapho ke uma usebenza lapho banale system ke abayisebenzisayo ke la uclocka khona ke awuclocki nje kuphela ke uma kuwukuthi usemsebenzini, ngoba ke sathola ukuthi abasebenzi ke bahlala khona lapho noma kuwukuthi ke uya ecanteen uclocka khona ke kwelinye lamagate, ngoba ke kunamagate asetshenziswayo engena kuona noma ukuthi ke umuntu uyodla ke uyaclocka. So kwatholakala ke lokho ukuthi ke ngesiqinisekiso ke ukuthi ke ilanga lokugcina awayengalo lapha yana kwakunge-25 ka-October 2014 la aphuma khona ke emuva kwamahora amabili wase futhi ebuya ke kulama date amabili engiwashilo ke ukuthi yi-2 noma yi-3 kuNovember 2014.
So in essence, my Lord, the alibi was false.
Ukusho njena ke ukuthi ke lokho ayesitshele kona ukuthi ngelanga lange-26 October 2014 wayesemsebenzini kwakuwamanga.
My Lord, I confronted him with this finding, which were obviously before his presence, and he could not give any other explanation, my Lord.
Zange akhoneke noma kwazike ukuthi angichazele.
My Lord, I further confronted him with the sketch plan that was in the docket, where it was alleged that 2 suspects went into the house. This is now when the incident took place. One was wearing a hoodie and the one had dreadlocks. So I confronted him with the second suspect that was wearing a hoodie.
Okay. Ngase manje ke semkhonana naye ke noma semkhulumisana naye ke ngaso isketch plan esasiyingxenye yedokodo la khona ke ekwakhulunywa ngabalisa ababili abangena endlini ukuthi ke omunye wayenama dreadlocks, omunye ke wayefake noma ke egqoke ihoodie. Mina ke
the suspect
amango noma ke insolo zami ke kwakuukuthi ke
BB, I'm sorry, exhibit BB.
Yes, my Lord, it is the one that I showed him. And the accused on my left with the hoodie, that's the identity that I showed him, my Lord.
Yona ke lena ke engamtshengisa yona ke futhi ke umsola lona ke ongaku left wami ke ogqoke ihoodie uyena ke lo ekhuluma ngaye.
Yes.
My Lord, the response that I recall was that he was aware of such a plan, a sketch plan. I don't know from where, but he said he was aware, and he think it's a question of mistaken identity.
Engikhumbulayo ekusho ke ukuthi ke wayenalo ke ulwazi lesi sketch plan engazi ke ukuthi wayelithole kuphi ke, kodwa wakusho ke nokuthi ke nje ucabanga nje ukuthi cha kwenziwa iphutha ke.
My Lord, I warned him again with his constitutional rights again, and advised him that it will be in his best interest to tell the truth, as these things, the alibis which are not materializing, will work against him at the later stage, and said we can leave it at that.
ngase ngimxwayisa futhi ke ngawo kamalungelo akhe ke futhi sengimtshela ke futhi ke ukuthi ke kuzomsiza ke ukuthi manje ke akhulume ke iqiniso ngoba ke lokhu akushilo ukuthi yena ke wayekuphike akusebenzile kuyatholakala ukuthi ke futhi akusilona iqiniso nokuthi lokhu ke kusengahamba phambeke kusetshenziswe ngakuyena ke.
My Lord, as I was walking away, I was then called back. I think one of the members, the sergeant, called me back and says, accused number 2 wants to speak to me.
Ngase sisho ke ukuthi ke asikiyeke noma sikushiye lapho ke ngathi ke uma sengihamba ke ngabizwa omunye ke koza kwethu noma ke osargent laba ababili ke bethi ke umsolwa ke ufisa ukukhuluma nami.
My Lord, when I went back to him, the utterances he made were tantamounting to confession as well.
Uma sengibuyela kuyena ke lokho akusho ungasho ke ukuthi ke manje kwakusekugonyuluka.
I warned him again, my Lord, in light of what he was saying and the fact that such can be used against him. He said he understands, but he just wants to tell the truth because the lies are not working for him.
Ngase ngimxwayisa ke ukuthi ke ngimxwayisa futhi ke ngimtshela ke futhi ukuthi lokho kungasetshenziswa ke ngakuyena ke njengobufakazi wathi ke uyakuzwa ke lokho noma ke uyakuzwisisa ke nokuthi ke ufisa nje ukuthi akhulume iqiniso ngoba ke amanga awamsebenzeli.
My Lord, I also established that he was, during our interaction, prepared also to make a confession to an independent police officer. We found, my Lord.
Sahlukana ke ngokuthi ngangizo kwenza ke isiqinisekiso ke ukuthi ke kuyenzeka ke lokho noma ke siyamthola ke umuntu nokuthi ke futhi ke uSergeant Mukhane wayezomhambisa ke noma uSergeant Mukhane ke aqiniseke aqenzeke isiqinisekiso sokuthi ke uyahanjiswa uma ukuthi loyo muntu leyo usetholakele.
These utterances, my Lord, prior to us departing from each other were made by accused number 2 free and voluntarily, and there was no undue influence to the Gauteng province. The 19th, I was able to find Lieutenant Colonel Rapadu. Accused 2 should be brought to Moroka ACPS that morning, and they will meet him there.
Washo ke ukuthi angakusona ke isimo sokuthi angalekelela noma angasiza ke nokuthi ke umsolo wesibili ke uzocela ukuthi ke alethwe ke epolice station yaseMoroka uzohlangana naye lapho.
My Lord, I did the same exercise as I did with Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe, whereby I connected both parties, not with Sergeant Mukhane, with Lieutenant Colonel Rapadu, as he'll be the one that will be transporting accused number 2 to Moroka.
Ngenza ke ngalendlela engangenze ngayo ke kuyena phakathi kwakhe uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe kanye naye usayili ke nanjengokuthi uMokhane kwakuyena wayezomhambisa.
I also know, my Lord, that on that day accused number 2 was scheduled to appear in Phosphorus, to be taken to Phosphorus court, insofar as the briefing that was given to me by Sergeant Mukhane.
Ngokwalokho ke engakutshelwa uyena ke uSergeant Mukhane ngangazi ke ukuthi ngalelo langa lelo ke umsolo wesibili kwakufanele ukuthi ke ayobingelela imantshi kwinkantolo yasePhosphorus.
Yes.
My Lord, it is also prudent to mention that the reason of his detention on the 16th of June 2020 was in relation, I think, to a murder case of Nongoma, not this matter before court.
Futhi ngicabanga ukuthi ke kufanelekile ukuthi ngikusho ke ukuthi ukugcina kwakhe noma kulala la kwaNongoma kungasilona leli icala eliphambi kwenkantolo njengamanje.
He too, my Lord, was arraigned together with accused number 1 in October 2014, when they then made their first appearance in Boksburg in relation to this matter for the first time.
It's October 2014 kuyona inkantolo yaseBoksburg.
And it was after also, my Lord, the warrant of arrest in
kuyena ke kwakusemva kokuthi ababiza ngokuthi ke warrant of arrest ukuthi ke seyobingelela ke imantshi eBoksburg.
Brigadier, if I can take you to the events of the 19th of June 2020.
Yes, my Lord.
Yes, can we focus on that?
Noted, my Lord. Yes. My Lord, then in the morning I was informed by Sergeant Mukhane that indeed accused number 2 was taken to Colonel Rapadu at Moroka.
Ngazo ke i19 lezo ke ngatshelwa ke uyena uSergeant Mukhane ukuthi impela ke umsolwa wesibili ke wahanjiswa ke wayohlangana naye ke uKenel Rapadu eMoroka.
My Lord, it is also important to mention that Colonel Rapadu also was independent from these investigations.
Kubalekile ke nokusho ke ukuthi ke yena uKenel Rapadu ke wayengahlangene ke nalo uphenyo lolu.
Furthermore, that I have never worked with him in my entire career, my Lord.
Nokuthi ke angikaze njengiyiphoyisa ke ngisebenze naye uKenel Rapadu.
And then lastly, my Lord, that the first time I actually spoke to him was telephonically, and the first time I actually laid eyes or saw his face was when I went to collect the confession form in his Enadale office, I think 2 days after, but it's depicted in the statement that he gave me. So that